In 1915, hidden among the towering mountains of Colorado, a quiet health resort promised people something money could never buy: a peaceful mind and a healthy life. Wealthy businessmen, exhausted workers, and families from across America traveled there, believing they had finally found the secret to a successful future. But only a few decades later, the building stood empty. The gardens disappeared beneath wild grass, and silence replaced the laughter. Today, the forgotten ruins still remind visitors of a lesson that history has repeated for generations. True success is not measured by wealth alone, but by the peace and health we preserve while chasing it. In the spring of 1915, nestled high in the Rocky Mountains near Glenwood Springs, Colorado, stood a beautiful mountain retreat known as Cedar Valley Health Resort. Built beside natural hot springs and surrounded by pine forests, it welcomed visitors seeking rest from the increasingly busy industrial cities of America. Factories were expanding, railroads stretched across the nation, business opportunities appeared everywhere. Yet, along with prosperity, came exhaustion. Among the resort's guests was a 34-year-old businessman named Samuel Carter. Samuel owned a successful manufacturing company in Chicago. By every public measure, he had achieved the American dream. He owned a large house, a new automobile, several investment properties. His company employed hundreds of workers. People admired him everywhere he went, but very few knew the truth. Samuel barely slept. Constant stress caused headaches. He skipped meals, ignored his family, and spent every waking hour chasing larger profits. His doctor finally warned him. "If you continue living like this," he said quietly, "your business may survive longer than you do." Reluctantly, Samuel agreed to spend 2 weeks at Cedar Valley. He expected boredom. Instead, he discovered something unfamiliar: silence. Each morning, sunlight passed through towering pine trees. Fresh mountain air filled every breath. Birdsong replaced factory whistles. Visitors walked slowly instead of rushing. No one cared about expensive clothes or business success. People talked about health, family, nature, life. Samuel struggled at first. Even while sitting beside the hot springs, he constantly thought about unfinished contracts back in Chicago. His mind refused to rest. One afternoon, he met an elderly physician named Dr. Benjamin Hale, who had spent decades treating exhausted businessmen. The doctor smiled kindly. "You look healthy on paper," he said, "but not in your soul." Samuel laughed nervously. "I can't slow down." Dr. Hale pointed toward the surrounding mountains. "These mountains have stood here for millions of years. They aren't in a hurry." Samuel remained silent. Over the following days, he began joining morning walks through the forest. He ate regular meals, slept through the night for the first time in years. Slowly, something remarkable happened. The headaches disappeared. His breathing improved. His constant anxiety faded. For the first time since building his company, Samuel realized he had mistaken wealth for success. One evening, while watching the sunset over the mountains, another guest asked him a simple question. "If someone offered you another $1 million, but took away your health forever, would you accept?" Samuel answered immediately, "No." The realization shocked him. He had spent years sacrificing the very thing he now admitted was priceless. When Samuel returned to Chicago, his life changed. He still worked hard, but he stopped living only for business. He hired trusted managers instead of controlling everything himself. He spent weekends with his wife and children. He exercised regularly. He traveled. He protected his health with the same determination he once reserved only for money. His company continued growing. Ironically, the less he obsessed over wealth, the more balanced his life became. Meanwhile, America continued changing. New industries expanded. Cities grew larger. Modern medicine improved. Over time, fewer visitors traveled to isolated mountain resorts like Cedar Valley. Automobiles made other destinations easier to reach. Healthcare moved into modern hospitals. By the late 1930s, the once famous resort struggled financially. Eventually, it closed forever. Its wooden buildings slowly deteriorated beneath heavy snowfall and mountain storms. Nature quietly reclaimed the walking paths. The gardens disappeared. Windows shattered. The laughter faded into silence. Today, only weathered foundations and scattered ruins remain hidden among Colorado's forests. Most visitors assume the abandoned buildings represent business failure, but local historians believe Cedar Valley left behind something far more valuable. It preserved a forgotten reminder. Generations often chase success believing more money will eventually create happiness. Yet history repeatedly tells another story. Many wealthy people lost their peace while earning fortunes. Many successful careers came at the cost of broken health. And many abandoned places across America quietly remind us that no achievement matters if we are too exhausted to enjoy it. Years after Cedar Valley disappeared, Samuel returned one final time. Standing among the abandoned ruins, he smiled gently. The buildings had vanished. The business had ended. Time had changed everything. Yet the lesson remained untouched. Success is important. Hard work is honorable. Ambition creates opportunity. But the greatest future anyone can build is one where wealth never cost them their health, their peace, or the people they love. Because history remembers countless fortunes that disappeared. But the happiest lives were rarely measured by money alone.
And beneath the silent Colorado mountains, the forgotten remains of Cedar Valley continue whispering the same timeless truth.